Alright guys, new project. But before I get going, I want to explain the pigeons, they're now gone. They just glare at me from other chimneys. Alright, the new project. You may have seen when I put in the new garden here, we got lettuce coming up all through here. Then over here we got watermelon and honeydews. They're wilting a little bit, put new sprinklers in there today. Going this way, we're going to continue the grass all the way to that border, around the corner. Where the trash cans are now, they're going to leave there, around the AC unit, all the way to there. By the way, the pool's almost 90, so when I'm done with this today, I'm getting in. Now expanding out this will also give us a garden that's going to run along here where the rain trough is, where the roof water drops off here. There'll be a border there. Eventually we'll have flowers and whatnot along here. And if you remember when I built this planter here, I was kind of careless with my work here. Killed some of the grass, so I'm going to be fixing that over the next couple days. Mind you, this is not my idea. The girl wants to have more grass going that way, so what's going to happen is there's going to be a sprinkler system that runs along here, feeds these lines here that water this garden. That will disconnect from the front sprinkler so we get a little more pressure from front all the way through to here. Then that same line is going to run along here, watering this area. At the corner, it's going to be 3/4 spray hitting this area. We may not be able to get that over there. Going to run along the patio here, down this way here, past where the trash cans are now, around, back, and down along here, terminating here. Adding a little bit more water over this way. So far, I'm maybe $300, maybe $400 into this. Just in the timer, it's going to go off that spigot. It's going to be above ground initially, then down the way I will put it below ground. But I can't lie, it'll be really nice to have grass through here instead of the dirt. We added sand to this soil in order to help its drainage when it rains, but just make it grass. Going to the above ground, it's been 3 weeks, that's still nothing. This is still a little ball. No squash coming up there. Lettuce. Don't remember. Lettuce. Cherry tomatoes being swallowed up by the zucchini. No, the cucumbers, and none of the cucumbers have survived. They've gotten about yay big, like this one here, and then they die. So something's wrong with the soil or watering. Regular tomatoes, all the way over to here. The prior tomato died. That's a volunteer. Got some weeds back there. Jalapeno suffering. It should like the heat, I don't know. The broccoli didn't do diddly. I mean, come on. And then we have another tomato plant here where we put lima beans, so I can't explain that. I don't think I ever uploaded the video on our composter. I painted it all the way black to give it a little bit more heat, but it's not really composting. Bean sprouts don't compost, by the way. The peach tree, there was maybe 30 on here, but I'm not seeing any. There's a couple up there. They're really slow growing. We're not going to have much of a crop this year. Okay, setting up the sprinkler system. First things first. The timer, it's going to run off of this juncture, off of the hose box. Put on Teflon tape. Tightening her up. So the hose will stay on, this outlet will stay on, and this will run a timer. I'm only going to run 2. I'll have the option to run a 3rd one later. Timer was about 50 bucks. Then I've got 2 of these 3-foot hoses. They're going to feed the PVC. About 8 bucks. Teflon tape. Screw it on. Teflon tape. Second one goes on. Now the PVC, the hose adapter. About $1 a piece. Teflon tape. This screws on. And then there's a slip joint that goes into the PVC. We'll go like this. Head out that way. Teflon tape, and I'm using 1/2 inch PVC because there's not going to be a lot of run on either line. So the PVC would be glued into here. First, I'll loose fit everything, then I'll glue it together. I'm a little short on PVC. I thought 50 feet would be enough. I'm going to need another 10 feet. The sprinklers I'm getting are only 2-inch rise, but they're pop-ups. They're going to come up about here, a little bit above the concrete. I'm not worried about that because over time, the soil, which is hard as a rock, I have not taken pickaxe to that. It will loosen up to where I can fit it in below ground And then I do have another water line running underneath the concrete right about here. They over-poured it, so I can't really use that without digging. Now the sprinkler heads themselves are going to go through here. Again, they're 2-inchers. I've got some here. They'll be similar to these, but I'm going to put custom heads on them that I ordered. That was about 45, 50 bucks. So the sprinkler heads will come from Amazon a little bit later today, so I can dry fit everything right now, at least for this run. You see, we got decent coverage here, but I'm going to double it up because this is a trouble spot. This gets nothing. The sprinkler ends right about there. So what I'm going to do is run these out this way. These will continue to go this way, but I do want to get the double coverage here because I want to throw a little bit more into that corner there. And I'm going to branch off this end, as I said earlier, going into this where I've got the cap. It'll feed backwards. Okay, I'm stopping for a little bit. It's just too hot out there for this. I mean, look at my shirt, crying out loud. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more work. My Ray-Bans shut off, said it was too hot to film. Go figure. Second pair. Okay, this is the machine, different one. It bit me not long ago. Nearly took off the end of my finger. It cuts the PVC like butter. Got myself a box of risers that are adjustable, 20 of them. Just cut it off the size you need, right? Of course, you know I'm going to put Teflon tape on those there threads. And right now, it's all about test fitting. Yeah, it'll stick up a little more than I really wanted, but we'll live. I had to cut off a little bit more. There was a lip in the way. So it'll sit like that. Okay, first two are in, and then the custom heads, these will unscrew. Let me show you those. Okay, I got Hunter heads and Hunter knockoffs that'll go right over the current heads, and these are adjustable. And I'm going to put out a fine spray. I've been a real big fan of the rotators put out the streams. I'm not getting the coverage I used to out of those. I don't know why. Okay, I thought I had me some 10-footers, but I don't. I've got some 8s. That's not going to get me all the way out. I'll probably have to get more. Now there's a tool that'll clamp down on this and hold it in place so you can change out the head. But these are retrofit. I don't have that tool. I meant to buy one. I forgot. So this is the replacement head. And they're adjustable. You can change them almost, in fact, you can change them all the way to 360 degrees. So this one comes up. Unscrew that, take out the filter, put in the new filter. In this case, the new filter won't fit. And this just screws on over it. All right, here's what I found. That screw in the bottom is preventing it from going into that filter. So we're going to do it again. Should go this time. Tighten it down. I think that'll actually give it a little bit more lift. There we go. Ready. Okay, my arm span is 6 feet. So here to here, it's +2, there's 8. Then we're going to go 8 over to this one. And another 8 over to this one. About. I'm going to have to change over to 10 foot, maybe 12 foot. But that's okay, the overlap will be just fine. Quick heads up. This sprinkler doesn't water the area around it. That sprinkler waters that area. This one waters that area. So the overlap's important. I'm going to be a little short when I switch it to 10 or 12 footers. That's all right though. Yeah, 10 footers will be just fine. Of course, I thought 8 footers were going to be okay too. Nope. Okay, everything's hand fitted all the way to here. We get to the end, and we've got this bad boy. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, I see what I did wrong. This will fit straight in here as a plug. Now, my 1/2-inch line here, I have to heat this up to get it on there. Doesn't work. Dang. All right, I miscalculated here. The same diameter. That had to be a 3/4 line coming off that. Darn it. All right, I'll have to scramble for a fix. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll run a short and then run an elbow, and then I've got a connector that'll go to this from an elbow. This elbow here that I'm using now, that'll totally work. All right, plan enacted. Kind of knew I should have got 2 of these, but I didn't. I don't think. I usually try to get more than what I'm going to need. And I'm going to be short on teas as well. I love that I have lettuce coming up. Don't have to rely on that stuff that's making everyone sick. All right, several hours gone by. I've made myself another run down to Lowe's. You do Home Depot. And while I was gone, sprinklers came. But I'm losing the sun, and everyone's hungry. So I got the coals going. Gonna do some grilling, just burgers, nothing fancy. All right, guys, next day, it's coming up on 11 a.m. Finally getting working on this. I've decided that this will go underground, but not for about 3 months. I need that soil to loosen up, and it will. But right now, I'm gonna start putting this leg together, coming off the left side, going all the way down there. Of course, Puppy Dog's awful curious about what I'm doing. Aren't you, Puppy? Aren't you, Puppy? She saw me come over here by the hose, got excited, thought we were going to play chase the water. Yeah, my girl. Yeah, my girl. Well, I know my hands will be good and blue tomorrow. You'd think I'd be smart enough to use gloves. I never do. I never learn. Right, cap won't come off the glue. All right, I'm just hoping I don't have to make another run to the hardware store. All right, I got the blue glue. It's like Blue's Clues, except it's glue. Good. First connection is done. I'm gonna let that dry for a while. Once it's set, I'll start messing with the next one. Now the beauty of this setup is it keeps it from falling over once I get it set right. But you can see this one's got knocked a couple times, gone cockeyed, so I'm gonna put a little pressure on it this way to where that's not an issue. And so on we go. Okay, 2 joints down. I won't film all of them, that'd be crazy. Okay, I'm coming up on the last one. Now, front sprinklers have been watering all this. It's going to become that other one. It's going to connect to here. So I have to disconnect this here and disconnect it there. All right, the old irrigation line. Had to wait for the wasp to get out of there because he was exploring. I really don't want to make him angry because they can sting. It's just because they don't even have to be angry. They're just like, nope. So Teflon tape. There we go. Maybe we can use that for something else later. All right, the feeder line for the drip system going on. Teflon tape the bottom, Teflon tape the top. Keep this good and tight. There we go. Now when doing this, you'd think it'd be smart enough to wear gloves. I'm not. All right, there's only 96 out there. What am I crying about? Because it's humid. Yeah, I'm gonna run a quick test. Actually, no, I'm going to Teflon tape all the connectors first to the sprinklers. But I am going to make sure that this doggone thing works. So battery time, okay, I have it set to come on in just about 1 minute. We'll see what happens. All right, all but that one are running. I had to take a tool to that one yesterday. I might have broke it. That one's kind of shooting kind of cockeyed a little bit. See what we can do here. So I think my 10-footers, when they come tomorrow, I think that'll take care of this just perfect. It needs to come a little bit more over. All right, success. It only goes out to about here. So 10, or I might need 15 footers to reach all the way out there. You see, I'm running a little short. Got some 10-footers coming tomorrow. We'll see. Over here, we're okay on coverage right here. Big muddy mess. So I've just got to hook up that side. I'm going to see how this is doing over here. As far as coverage, got the lettuce going, getting decent coverage. Got a little water spilling out over here. Gonna bring it up a little. Doing okay there. Little off there. Not bad. Not bad at all. Now using my smart timer, I'm going to see if we've improved pressure over on this side. Now that this isn't feeding off of it. Everything seems to be coming up just really slow. We should have gained some pressure over here. Absolutely did. We're getting reached all the way to the concrete now. Oh yeah. What a difference. Now I just have to fix a couple of these. Get a little bit more reach. To that side there. Nah. And how's our watering doing over here? We got plenty of volume now. This one's running low. Heck, who needs to get in the pool? I'll just run through the sprinklers. All right, it's about 103 now. I got focused in, got everything set up. These don't shoot near far enough, so I will get some 10s or 15s. Got plenty of water pressure. See, this area here is actually kind of flooding a little bit. Put down some soil, seeded it. Next ones will kick on over here. I'm going to condition that soil for a while. But everything works. You'll see here in a minute, this other one will kick on. I have these set up to turn on 3 times a day for about 6 minutes. Everything's glued in. I'm going to have to raise the soil level a little bit. Comes around here, ends over here. You can see where I've tested it. Also ran this side here. This one throws a little short. That one there goes okay. That one goes a little far, that one goes a little far. So I'm gonna have to put something here, probably like a piece of plywood or something. Totally forgot, I gotta turn it on myself manual. There we go. All right. That throws a lot of water right here under the pool. I can't turn that one down, and that one throws pretty far too. So I'll have to come up with a solution, like I said, some kind of barrier. So you can see, this one shoots this way, this one shoots this way. Then the one back here shoots 1/4. That shoots a half, that shoots a half. Anyway, project done. We'll see what this looks like in about 2 weeks. All right, guys, it's 1 week later. You can see we're filling in all the way out to here. Did a little seeding here, nothing really coming up. That's getting good water. Seeded through here. This area is going to need redoing. Over here, fresh grass coming up. Fresh grass coming up. And seeded this yesterday. It's going to start watering here any minute. Changed out all these sprinklers to get this going again. So by a week from today, this should be looking good. This is the seed I'm using now. Seed fertilizer and soil improver. Now a lot of people will tell you you got to till the yard to put down seed. Yeah, you can do that. You don't have to. You can put it down on your soil and simply cover it with topsoil or manure. It'll turn out just fine. Now this has seed, what looks like rat turds, but it's not. And I guess the other's fertilizer or maybe the conditioner. Yes, honestly, it's better if you do till because the seeds will propagate. But again, you don't have to. The grass roots, well irrigated, will break up the soil just fine. Okay, gonna put down a little cover here. And yes, you can seed when it's 106, 107 out. I seeded all this yesterday, 100 last week when I did that. Yes, you can put down manure as your cover any time of year. You just got to make sure you hit it with enough water to where the nitrates get into the soil. Otherwise, it will burn everything. That's it. Here in a little bit, I'll show you the sprinkler coverage. And in about a week, I'll show you what's come up grass-wise. By the way, check my lettuce. Oh yeah. Before you go, I did rework these sprinklers too, which is partly why this is filling in so nice. We're getting double coverage over here, a little bit of double over there. Well, we've got a long reach here. Fire pit's still got to come out, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting any coverage right there. That's the next problem to work with. And then getting coverage out there. All right, while the grass is sprouting, I have these set to come on 3 times a day to cover this area all the way back through here. This one's going to come on first. A bee just flew by me. About time they started getting here. I think my fruits and vegetables have been doing poorly because there's been no bees. Hardly any. Now that far side, I've turned down the time quite a bit because it was filling up big. And they just kicked on. Get good coverage right here. Not so good there. Goes around the AC. And in the 2 minutes it's going to run, that's going to be pretty soaked. But with 105, 106, that's okay. The only problem I'm having is it's shooting water underneath the pool, and the supports here are going to sag. So I'm going to have to come up with a plywood cover going down through here. I'm thinking I could put solar on those and run the pumps off of that possibly. Now if you look over at the grass area over there, it's already rebounding. And like I said, we already have some grass coming up here already. Now the coverage ends right about here for this one. When this one's done, a minute later, this one will kick on, and this area will get very, very saturated. Now, the planter border is going to run right in front of these here, right in front of where the PVC is. It'll cut across here and go all the way down. So we'll have flowers, not sure what kind yet. Yeah, we're still puddling up here a little bit. I thought I solved that yesterday. Well, it's only a 2-minute run, so it won't get too bad. Definitely going to have to get a deflector for this. Yeah, plywood, probably 2.5 sheets will do it. I'll run a channel redirecting the water out that way. And it gets year-round hitting on that side there, so like I said, a couple $100 solar panels, that might work wonders. Either that or I run and pump water for heating the pool through there. That might be an option. Imagine an 85-degree pool in winter. Well, this should have shut off by now. It's not supposed to run that long. It's supposed to be a 2-minute run. Maybe it's 3. 3 minutes, okay. Now this other side's going to kick on here in a minute. All right. All right, waiting for the other channel to kick on. Any second now. I'm hoping it'll hit me out here. I don't think it will. Finally, AC shuts off. This here, I've got to repurpose these stones. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're retaining bricks. Thought about making a stairway to the pool, but nah. There we go, just kicked on. Okay, you got coverage going this way. It is actually hitting me a little bit over here. Not too terrible bad. Now, I'm not getting the pressure that I should, so I'm going to have to address that somehow. But I'm still getting it shooting all the way out here, so we'll get decent coverage out there. Around the corner, to the corner here. And then we've got our sprayers feeding our strawberries that never came up. That's going to become blackberries. Our lettuce, more lettuce, all the way down. What I wanted to check today is to see how much coverage we're getting out here. And adjust it. I'm noticing some plants are suffering. All right, you can see we're getting good coverage all the way around here. So it shouldn't take too long till we start getting some growth through here. Then we got double coverage coming that way. Bucky out.